for me, the number one thing that impacts mental health is, like Dan said, physiologically. Hello.
Jesus.
And then it goes up to the mind, right? So like a lot of like people, you know, if I talk to some of my friends or whoever around different things that they're struggling with, before I talk to them around how to deal with the problem, before I talk to them around therapy, before I talk to them anything, I'm like, cool, what's your diet? How much are you exercising? Because a lot of the times, bro, you've got, like, your bodies are created to be utilized. When you don't use your body, you lose it. You lose mobility, you lose certain functions. And I think there's a lot that happens to your body when you stop using your physiology and you just start using your mental.
Because, and I think, Yams, has that changed? Like, it'll be interesting to see whether that was the age 10 years ago and then 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and then probably where it will be interesting.
Where the trend has been.
Exactly, the trend going
older.
the other way as well, because now we're more conscious of exercising feels like last quarter's thing. Now it's all about, God, I opened this bread's door today, man's drinking a big thing of kombucha, bro. But now everybody knows the gut is the epicenter of everything, bro.
Yeah.
Facts.
And that now becomes this quarter's topic. Like, and I just think it'll be interesting to see as we move through what happens to that age. Well, what happens to the suicide rates altogether, and what happens to the sort of age range as well. It'll be definitely interesting to see.
I've got a question here. So
What's that there, Callum? Go back. So what is that? The ages down the left. Yeah?
Also, there's ChatGPT. Why are you not googling it, bro? Just ask ChatGPT. How has this changed over the years?
Bro, we've got an Office of National Statistics for a reason, man. Use the website.
Literally that.
That's quite sick that you use that.
Bruv.
So it only goes up to 18. That's the problem. So it's not really a.
It's mad that kids kill themselves as well, you know.
crazy.
Yeah, but
Like,
imagine you can sit down with a kid and just shake them and be like, "No, trust me, bro." Like,
but listen, what
there's more to this. Like,
You know that.
Here we go. This is it. Look, so yeah, so 16 for every 100,000 people or whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah.
In 2023, it's 50 to 54, and that's like peak.
What's the colours? Just show me the colours. What's the colours?
As you're getting
Younger.
The darker it is, the more it is. The more like people per 100,000 of people.
Okay, I understand.
So
Yeah. So it's not really. Oh, as you get the dark. So it is literally just anything from
it's getting lighter. Like,
25.
It's like 25 to.
But did you man try to put this TV as far as as possible or something? You think how far can we put it? So this bro has to squint.
Old
bro.
eyes, bro.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, it's basically from 25 up to
Further down.
Yeah.
60s,
I find it
50,
interesting
50,
that-
60,
I
60,
find it
60.
interesting that 15 to 19 is pretty consistently the same.
Yeah, it's the same across,
or
isn't it?
lower.
Yeah.
But then-
But you realise, yeah, and look, and this speaks to happier times here. I don't want to talk about politics. Well, it's not even politics, it's just fact, right? So the socio-economic landscape, yeah, if you look at from 2002 through to, what are you looking at? 2010, 12? The dark blue is only, 35 to 44, basically. So it speaks to the pressures on life, bro. And obviously,
pressure of
yeah.
life to shift.
And now look what happens again after you sort of come towards the 2020s, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the financial landscape changes again.
Fact.
And look how it starts to spread out again, bro. Just people's life stresses, bro. It's interesting to look at still.
I find the.
Look at the 80s, bro.
I think. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, in the 80s, it's crazy.
Because it was crazy back then.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's mad.
Obviously, men are less likely to like access help or support, mental health support, or even GP support itself.
And even the ability to get it, bro.
Well, the ability to get. I think the simplest advice I've seen is like you could obviously speak to your a friend or family, or just your GP in a lot of instances. You can actually book an appointment. But I think is there just a stigma against going to your friend and sitting down and going, listen, I'm going through it right now, and I don't really know who to turn to. Do people have those people in their lives?
I think less so now. I think the more people talk, you see, like a lot of work goes into awareness.
Yeah.
So the more like that work is successful, then I think it becomes less of a stigma.
Do you think it's easier to talk to a professional than it is to talk to someone you know?
I found it like that, yeah.
Yeah,
It
you
was
don't
easy
want
to talk to someone.
Yeah.
No,
Is it- is it- does it-
but
does
I
it-
found it hard. Like, you know what it is? It's like, if you don't speak to no one, to start speaking to anyone is really difficult. So it actually was like, Like if I say something to the therapist or my brethren, if I'm gonna say it, I start telling everyone. So when I started getting therapy, I saw these lot and I told them straight, yo, this is what's going on. You lot should know. Because if I'm gonna tell one, it don't matter if I say 1 or 50. But I think sometimes that to take that first step is really hard, because the reality is, a lot of the stuff that you might be going through in your life, you might think is not that big. So you might be like, if I bring it up to someone else, they're going to think like, bro, they might have bigger stuff. So you don't want to burden people. You then start thinking a bit more consciously around, but maybe this isn't the right problem to share, rather than, and actually the reality is, bro, anything that's on your mind, just share it with someone. And you know what the important thing I would say as well, part of what I think is a lot of people don't share, is that in the moments you do try and share, I think the people receiving the information don't always deal with it very well. So what I mean by that is, sometimes when you share, you don't necessarily want advice. You don't necessarily want someone to tell you the solution, what to do. Sometimes, so I think there is a big burden to be. There's two things I would say. One is, if you're the person receiving the information, your number one question to the person sharing is, what do you need from me? Is it that you want advice? Is it that you want to just vent? Whatever, okay? The people sharing, I had this perspective, and I think it really is... Simon Sinek was talking about this, and I thought it was really interesting, yeah? He was talking about the fact that, think about it like this, yeah? Let's say someone comes to you guys and tells you something mad. Like, we've had moments where we've shared certain things, whatever. Like, you say something, someone comes and tells you something really personal, yeah? And you then talk to them through it, and you're there for them for that moment, things go whatever. How do you feel after that moment?
Oh, you feel so much... It's
not the person. So you're not the person with the problem. You're the person receiving. How do you feel when someone shares that stuff with you?
It depends who.
I think there's an air of trust. I think there's an air of like, wow, this person's actually just come and opened up.
Bro,
to
it feels unreal. It feels
like
like if someone comes to you and it's like, bro, I've got to talk to you about something. There's been people that I'm living that close with that have done that, and it's made our friendships like this. All of a sudden, forget time of friendship, forget how we know each other. If you're gonna trust me with some personal stuff, that's a really big deal. So what I'll say to the person that's hesitant to share is, don't rob the other person of the opportunity to feel like that. Because you're thinking, I don't want to burden them, right? But what about, think about it from a different lens of, what about giving them the chance to feel great? Because maybe they are going through their own stuff, and by them feeling like they can help you, there is some element of their self-worth that gets increased, and all of a sudden you've contributed some way positively in a quite a negative situation. Now there's a positive coming out of it as well.
Can I use an example? Just for my wedding, Dad, I sent you a voice note. I don't know if you remember.
This motherfucker.
Listen, long story short, I was going through something personal with my dad, and then I remember sitting there going like, I've never done this before. I've never asked anyone when I'm going through it. It's maybe kind of been kept internally. It's been my parents, my sisters, or my wife. And I thought, actually, on this perspective, let me ask all the dads in my life just what they would do in this scenario. Yeah. And I literally sent out probably like 15 or 20 voice notes to different men and dads, asking them what they would do.
Batty boy!
That's why men don't share.
This is why men don't share, bro.
And that's that.
That's that, bro.
Bye.
Episode done. I'm dead. Anyway. In that moment, you received, and it was random. I think I sent you. I probably sent it to you at like 3 a.m. It was random
bro,
time.
my head was hot, bro.
Yeah.
I swear, my first reply was never contact me with a voice note at this time again.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get onto your issues in a second, but don't ever do that.
Don't ever do that. But beyond that, how did it feel receiving that message from my part? I don't know. Yeah, I think we've gone through stuff. We've lived together, but
I actually hear what Bocky's saying, because it's like, if you ever watch Friends.
Yeah, watch Friends.
If you know, like the bit that Joey and Phoebe do when they're basically saying like, "There's no good deed," like someone's always getting something out of it. But anyway, but it's that similar sort of dynamic. Yeah, but when you said, I didn't really think. I just literally thought like, let's work through your issue, like, and I just responded to you like just based on facts. But that's probably because I already recognise that that's probably the reason why you sent it to me, because obviously we're cool. We've known each other a long time. We're both fathers, like, and it's just someone that you can just rap with, like, you can just bounce the ball off with, like. So, yeah, man, and also, yeah, from my perspective, I found it quite a mature thing to do. Like, I thought actually, like, Donny's reaching out for genuine, like, opinions. So it didn't really take me aback.
When's the last time you did that?
I wouldn't, reach out to, I'm not like that, bro. Because more time, I see most problems as just like, you just got to crack on.
Do
And
you think that's good though?
it's good and bad. It depends on the problem. Like if I look at health, yeah, man had myocarditis, brother. And I was cracking on for 2 weeks, bro. My heart's on fire. Like, so,
Neo flickering.
Yeah.
That's his other name. That's his alias.
that's
Neo flickering.
That's problematic, innit?
It
Yeah.
is, bro.
But even but I do the flow chart, innit? It's like yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
But you don't do any repair work.
So it's like, for example, yeah, work, yeah. I don't like work. Work's whatever. What am I gonna do about it? Nothing. So I need to get paid. I need to work. I need to get paid, and it ain't that bad. So I'm just gonna cut through and just put up with whatever nonsense that I'm putting up with. Like, and also, it's not that deep. When I deep it, it's not that deep. It's just that at times it can stress you out. But
That's
that's
dangerous
just me.
attitude.
Yeah, maybe. And maybe later on in my
a
life it
dangerous
might
attitude.
compound, bro.
Trust
like
me.
more recent, like literally as of yesterday, I'm genuinely starting to think about stress. Like we did the thing
we
earlier.
did earlier
bruv,
about
I
stress,
said
yeah.
it from
Stress is a
literal
killer.
recent research, bruv. Recent Googles, bruv. Like stress is peak, bruv. It's probably like they point
The
to stress as
ripple
one of the
effects of
biggest
stress.
killers.
The
bro.
ripple effects of stress on your body are mental.
Yeah, but they're literally a point. You've seen that thing that's going around Insta now. Like, I asked ChatGPT if I wanted to live to 100 or whatever. It literally says, like, all right, yeah, exercise, yeah, cool.
Or do what you
all
need,
that,
or these
yeah,
are the
yeah, cool.
steps to live.
Stress is the biggest thing, bro.
Yeah.
And that's something, if you're, to answer your question now, I'm going to start paying attention to.
Yeah, you should.
And making sure I address.
That
'Cause
should be your
obviously,
thing for
As
26.
he says, I have a flickering heart.
Neil Flickeridge.
That's his football player. If he was a white midfielder,
Neil
Neil
Flickeridge.
flickering.
Neil Flickeridge, bro. That unreal. Hey, box to box. Flickers! You know the ones that he's up. Straight uppers. Flickers! You know what I
But
mean?
yeah,
bro?